Wrestlebeards, we got all your wrestling gear. Wrestlebeards, woo! Hairy man with dirty beards. Wrestlebeards, worldwide.
Greetings, folks. This is Shrek the Wreck for Wrestlebeards Worldwide, and yes, I have a sad face because this is the first time in history where I am not the Wrestlebeards Champion. I have lost my crown, I've lost my title, and I'm not even going to say anything more. I'll leave it over to this guy.
Well, I've got to say it was a long time in coming, but it was quite convincing in the end. And now, as Logan Paul said, all good things must come to an end. A good thing did come to an end finally with the thought of the chili.
Yeah, that really did set a fire, didn't it? I mean, it's led me to actually shave my biggish beard off in protest. I was gutted.
Start growing one.
Hey, it really didn't come down to what I thought would happen with Cormier, like doing something that would throw the towel in, though. That wasn't the decider.
They had the point where, like, Rollins put his hands on him, Cormier, and they had it on camera. It was obviously a spot that they planned. Don't put your hands on me. I was thinking, right, this is being set up for Crown Jewel. Here comes the hijinks, and nothing. He just goes back to UFC.
Oh well, that was nearly my time to like shine. I thought he's gonna do a referee stoppage. I've actually predicted this, and I'm gonna win. But no. Anyway, mate, I guess I'll leave it over to you.
Number one, yeah. So, this feels weird, but I've been waiting to do it for the last 3 years. So let's get it going. We've got WWE CROWN JEWEL in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia this weekend. Pretty good lineup. Again, what seems to be synonymous with Triple H, not overbooked. And he's got a lot to live up to after the last few events that he's done, the premium live events. So our first match we've got, going from Wikipedia, we'll start with the main event. We'll go with Roman Reigns, the champion, with the Bloodline, the Usos, Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso, as well as Solo Sikoa. Obviously, there's no Sami Zayn, given his issues, but his dislike towards Saudi Arabia and his link to Lebanon, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. Well, it's just his Jewish heritage anyway. Yeah. I believe something along those lines.
Wikipedia kind of spoiled it. I don't know how they got onto it, but with Jake Paul, as it was announced yesterday, inshallah, as he kept on saying. So I'm going for.
Oh, hang on, I've got to pick first.
Oh, this is So
I know.
I'm not even used to it.
I should have let you run with it. Well, I think this is a given. If Logan Paul was to win the undisputed championship of, the biggest company in the world, I think, although it would bring some, eyes to the company for a moment, it would be another David Arquette moment, in my opinion. Even though he's not as bad as David Arquette, I just don't think it's the right thing. I think this is more of a publicity stunt because Logan Paul's hot at the moment. He's got a very, very successful podcast. He's got a pretty good fight history of his own in the boxing world. Him and his brother are always up to antics. And, he's actually quite charismatic and not too bad in the ring as well. But there's no way in hell after, what is it? Nearly 1,000 days reign that we're going to see Roman Reigns drop it to Logan Paul. And I tell you this right now, I don't care about this Picks podcast, if Logan Paul wins the title, what will I do? I'll eat those chilies. I will eat those darn chilies. Okay. Not only one, not only two, I will eat 10 of those darn hot chilies next podcast if Logan Paul
live on the podcast.
Live on the podcast if he wins the title, because I just am that sure of it. And it will be by pinfall Roman Reigns.
All right. So I hear you there, and yeah, I'm feeling. I know I'm feeling lucky. I'm feeling lucky. All it takes is one lucky punch, as he keeps on
No,
saying, with the metal plates in his hands.
no.
Like you said, he's got a massive podcast. Just think what it would do for his podcast. And in all seriousness, he's looked excellent. Like he looked good against the Mysterios. He looked like a sort of like young protege wrestler against the Miz. And I know Miz, he's very good at making others look very good, but like he didn't miss a step. He looked solid. So therefore, I am
No.
Jake Paul there as well. Big publicity. Not doing too well after they absolutely bombed on the pay per view sales for the Anderson Silva fight, which unfortunately I did watch. I'm going for Roman Reigns by submission.
Okay. Phew. I was like, what are you up to?
It'll be a clean loss. I don't think it'll be a clean loss. I think Logan Paul will go out strong, and I think he won't tap. He'll just go to sleep. I think Roman Reigns by submission.
Okay. Interesting. You had me worried for a second. I thought you were gonna pick Logan. Okay. Interesting.
All right. So we've got Roman Reigns by pinfall, Roman Reigns by submission for me. Moving on. Next match on the card. I don't think it'll be like this, but next match that we've got on the card is the OC. AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson. Obviously, Gallows and Anderson returning to AJ Styles' side against the Judgment Day, Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Dominic Mysterio with the X Factor in their corner, Rhea Ripley.
That's right.
So who are you going for there, Shrek?
I think this could go obviously one of two ways. I just think that AJ Styles needs a win for a moment. I think he hasn't been very relevant for a while, and the Judgment Day probably don't need a win as much. They're on fire. They've got a pretty hot team. I think the fact that Rhea Ripley's involved may like somehow come into play. And I know that the OC did talk up on Raw last week that there's a potential woman coming in to counteract Rhea Ripley at some point. Who that is, I'm not too sure. And I don't even wish to speculate. But I'm going to go the OC via pinfall. It's going to probably be a magic killer and followed by a Styles clash, some kind of tandem. I just think that just for 50-50 booking in this story, I think it just needs the OC to pick up a victory. Yeah.
I agree with you there. I think it would be poor to have AJ Styles, Gallows, and Anderson together again, and then to have them lose. As we spoke last time, the Judgment Day are looking pretty good, and this Rhea Ripley effects, like she's doing the best stuff she's ever done, I think, in my opinion.
Agreed.
I also don't think it hurts them that much to take a loss. For for Priest to take the loss or something. I don't think it'll be Balor who takes the loss. And I think this might set up a program leading to SummerSlam Survivor Series, where they get this extra person, the OC, this extra person to counter the effect. So I'm going Judgment Day.
We got a battle already. I think the other interesting point on this this fight is that Carl Anderson's a current New Japan champion.
Yeah.
And he's actually meant to be defending that title the same day as Crown Jewel. I don't know if it's a work or a shoot, brother, but it's quite weird that they've done this. So it was actually a really random comeback from the Good Brothers, especially from Carl Anderson, who was very outspoken about Saudi Arabia events, actually. And now
I'm surprised that he's there.
It's very strange.
If he is there. Sorry, I just want to make sure that went down. I misspoke there. The OC is who I'm going for.
I was worried for a second. Yeah. I thought you were. Okay,
it's
cool.
2 a.m. here in the morning.
It's all good, my friend.
So, we both gone there. Match is the same. We could both be wrong, though. The Judgment Day have had a few strange wins. That win against Edge, that was a solid. Those last 10 minutes was solid,
Oh
really,
yeah.
really good.
Oh yeah.
Maybe Edge makes a return, and that's how the win comes up. I don't know.
The last few minutes of that match were solid. The first
Very good.
26 hours of that match were,
Oh,
you know,
they're talking through the mic. I hate that. And we're going to have that later on down the card in another match.
Yeah.
But that's not our next match. We've got Big Brock versus Bobby in a singles contest. I thought it might go to no DQ or something, but it just seems like a straight one-on-one match. So who are you going for?
Well, for starters, I find this match kind of refreshing to see Brock Lesnar in a match that isn't for the title or just some random comeback. Like we haven't seen him in just some random feud, I think, for the longest time. I think the last time he had a non-title match on pay-per-view was against Dolph Ziggler, which was a few years ago, and that was even random. But every other match he's had has been either an Elimination Chamber as a number one contenders match, a Money in the Bank match where he won, or a title match. Yeah. So it's pretty interesting. We've seen these two battle it before. It was pretty beefy, pretty brutal. With I believe, that was when Brock took the title, I think, wasn't it? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and then there were, it was Paul. It was when Paul Heyman was with him. And
That's right.
Is he with him? Is he not with him?
So
that was going on, and you had the Roman Reigns stuff as well.
Where this goes, I mean, I think it's just to appease the Saudi audience more than future booking. I don't see that this is really going to have a big play in where storylines are heading. I think Bobby will go on to something else afterwards, and Brock probably won't be around again until he comes back for another title hunt. I think Brock's going to take the victory because I think that it's Saudi money, it's Saudi Arabia, and he probably has that in his contract. I don't see that he will just come and take a loss, even though it makes more sense to have the 50-50. But yeah, I'm going to go with Brock Lesnar pinfall.
Interesting. I thought you might go something a little bit different there. No. I mean, I've got written down on my phone, but to play the easy route, not in my nature. So yeah, Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley. I can see this being I was a bit underwhelmed with the one at Royal Rumble. But I would just like this massive great fight where they're just going at each other so much so, and I think this is key that there's no DQ here. Unless that changes in the next 24 hours, I think it's going to be a double count out.
Okay. You're really going for double count out.
The ring can't contain them, and I think it finishes with a double count out. Both guys don't look bad in it. I don't think that Bobby Lashley can afford to take a big loss against him. And similarly, I don't think that Brock would be in it if he was going to take a flat out loss to Bobby Lashley. So I think a double count out.
Wow.
No winner.
This is huge. I think the title's coming home based on that alone, but I like it.
Right, next one. It's a steel cage match between Drew McIntyre, fresh from being the best man at Sheamus' wedding last weekend, versus Arian Cross with Scarlett. So, who are you going for here?
Well, you didn't mention this is also a steel cage match.
Yeah, no, I said it at the top. Steel cage
match. Sorry, yes. Well, the only thing I never understand about a pure steel cage match is how it can be won. Like, if I'm not mistaken, it's normal match, it's a normal match. It can be won by pinfall or submission. It's contained in the cage. Sometimes steel cage matches allow, to be won by exiting a cage and winning. I'm not sure if that's the stipulation at play. What do you know anything about that?
I don't. It's what it is usually. Is that it can be won by pinfall or submission in the ring.
Yeah.
Or it can be won by exiting the door. Or
over the top. That's what I imagine.
Well, back in the day when we're used to it, it used to only be over the top.
Yeah, and I think if you're going to do that match, why wouldn't you make that the only way to win, in my opinion? So I'm a bit lost for cause on this one. I think, the storyline, it really like was hot when Drew was in the title picture and Karrion was getting involved. And it was kind of like, oh, Karrion Kross is back, and what's he up to? And I thought he was going to go after Roman, not Drew. And he ended up like sticking around with Drew, which didn't make much sense to me. Then there was that match that they had, and it was very underwhelming. It came down to more what Scarlett did than what Karrion did. And apparently, didn't she pepper spray him or something? And but had no effect of the pepper spray on herself, but despite being right there herself. And then they had that random car crash angle, which was very strange, I felt. Quite cool in hindsight, but it was, I don't know. Like, I think they've dropped the ball again with Karrion Kross. I just don't see what they're really doing with him. I don't know. I'm going to go with Drew. I think Drew needs a win after Clash at the Castle, and losing to Karrion. I think he's due at least some kind of big win. And just I'm looking at babyface to heel dynamics on this card. I think this could be, one of the babyface wins for the evening.
Yeah.
And how it's won? Oh gosh. I'm just going to go for a pinfall. I'm going to be safe. I think that in case it isn't won the other way, I'm just going to go for pinfall.
You don't think he's going to claim all the cage door?
It could happen, but I'm still going to go for pinfall. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. And this stuff with Karrion Kross, it seems like the Karrion Kross effect. Like, he comes in all hot, he looks like the guy, he gets the push, and then they realize that he's not a very good wrestler.
He's pretty boring too. I don't know what the hype is.
Very one-dimensional. He's a single character. I'm bored of this whole program, really.
Me too.
I agree. I think McIntyre wins. I think this is the end of the two of them. And I'm going to go with you as well, just because, I can't remember the last time somebody won a steel cage match by going over the top. So I'm going for a pinfall.
I mean, they'll tease it. But I even remember like watching a steel cage match. I think it was a steel cage, and they actually went out of the ring and fought.
Yep.
And it wasn't over, and then they went back in and had a pinfall, outcome.
They had it with Reigns and Kevin Owens.
There we go.
Kevin Owens, he had exited the by the door, and then the Usos slammed the door in his face and sent him back in. Then Reigns won. Like, it's so inconsistent.
It is. And how can we?
What are we going to say if they announce that it's over the only by extending the cage over the top? We're going to say our pinfall then becomes over the top, or?
I guess if we've both gone the same, it's irrelevant anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we have. So, yeah, don't worry about it.
Moving on to the next one. The big boys, or the bigger boys, should we say? Maybe I shouldn't. not Battle of the Bigger Boys. That means something completely different from where I'm from. We've got Braun Strowman, returning Braun Strowman. I think is his first match on pay-per-view.
Yeah, I believe so.
The Beast Amos, with MVP in his corner, and again, just a straight singles match. Who are you going for?
Yeah, I mean, again, this is to appease Saudi. I think they want to put on some, kind of spectacle matches that they think that they will like. I think, I remember hearing when they did that Greatest Royal Rumble, I think the King of Saudi Arabia requested for Andre the Giant to appear and stuff, because he just had no clue, but he wanted to see giants, and he wanted Yokozuna to be there. So they brought up that Hiroki Sumi guy to be in the Rumble. So I just don't think that this is going to be a great match at all. I actually really rate Braun Strowman and his transformation. I think he's come so far. I really liked his last run, and it was really surprising he got released when he did. and he didn't get the full credit because he was really holding down ship on Raw at that point, doing some cool stunts, lifting trucks. I think they put the belt on him prematurely back then. I think he won it from Goldberg, replacing a sick Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then that reign was underwhelming somewhat, which probably tarnished him a little bit. Omos, I'm not really sold on him. He's big, but he's not really brilliant, is he? He's not really a good wrestler. He's uncharismatic. MVP is the only good part of the act, in my opinion. What do I want to win? Braun Strowman to win and take it down. What do I think will happen? Oh, I'm going to have to go Braun as well, I think. Because it's his first match back. And pinfall.
I thought you were going to say, what do I think? I think
I swerved you, mate. I swerved you.
I was trying to poker face you. I was trying not to show any emotion. I agree with you. I think Strowman for the victory. I think it'll be the first time it'll be running power slam. They made a big thing. I don't know if you watched the press conference, but they made a big thing of Amos being 75 pounds heavier than him. I think that plays into it. I think Strowman wins with a running power slam.
Yep.
Strowman with the victory pinfall.
Yeah, they'll probably try and choke slam each other or something, like some ridiculous.
There is something to be said. Probably, I was listening to Wrestle Talk, and they said something that struck a chord with me about how get these big guys when you got these two massive men. There is something that just makes you go, just look up and go, I want to see this. I want to see this. Like, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I know that it's probably going to be terrible.
I agree with you, but I also think it takes away the shine of how big they are. Then it makes them kind of on the same playing field. I'd rather see like Braun Strowman versus Rey Mysterio or something like that. That for me is more of a spectacle. Like when Big Show fought Mayweather. Remember Big Show Mayweather at that WrestleMania? How the size difference?
Yeah, that was good.
That was cool. Yeah.
So both going for Braun Strowman.
Oh, I didn't mention. I think Nicholas is going to have a part to play in this. I think he's going to make a comeback. He's going to be in Strowman's corner. No.
Tag me in, Braun. Tag me.
Yeah.
We've got Bianca Belair, the champ, versus Bayley in a last woman standing match. What are you saying?
Bayley's kind of the reason I lost my title, because I backed her last time, and had she have won, I'd still be here with the title. Let's be fair. This is a last woman standing match. It's pretty cool to see, especially this is Saudi Arabia, and they're putting like a last woman standing match on. I think that's like a little bit of a statement. Obviously, they're going to be wearing clothing that's not so.
Well, they won't be in those baggy t-shirts, thank God. They'll be
an
all-in-one kind of cosplay thing.
They were cool. Very dominatrix like some of them last time. I remember Natalia was
women in cages in dressed like that. Well done, Saudi Arabia.
But
you're doing well here.
This is a hard one, actually. I'll tell you, it's even harder because of the tag team situation. What are they doing here? I don't know. I'm going to go for Bayley again. This is probably going to be me putting my foot in my mouth. Bayley will win via Bianca not answering the 10 count. I think there's going to be shenanigans at play. I have heard that there's a potential for Sasha Banks to have some kind of comeback at this pay-per-view, perhaps. Maybe her and Naomi. Maybe, there's some kind of swerve where Bianca sides with those two. They cost, we'll talk about that later on. They cost the other parts of Damage Control the titles or gain them, and they have a super faction. And then they help Bianca. Bayley. I don't know. I'm probably going to... If Bayley lets me down twice, I'm not going to be a Bayley fan anymore. I'm not a Bayley buddy.
Well, Yeah, I agree with you. Like I'd say this is probably the hardest to call out of the entire show.
Yeah.
Because both women look pretty good going into it. But I'm going with you as well. I'm going Bailey for the win.
Okay.
Just purely for the
Nice.
fact that she came back after 18 months out. And this is her last opportunity. She should have won it really at the last pay-per-view. That's when she should have won it. It's now
I know.
dying of death. Who else is there to challenge Bianca? I think that Bianca doesn't lose too much shine in a loss. Certainly, if there's some outside interference that sort of costs it. So I'm going for a Bailey win by Bianca not answering the 10 count as well.
Nice.
Bailey new champion, and I think it will be good for Saudi Arabia to have to crown a new women's champion in Saudi Arabia as well.
It'll be pretty cool. And Bailey is, due. She's due that.
Yeah, she is.
She's good. She's good. Unless she doesn't win, and then I hate her.
Yeah, and then well, and you've not lost much.
Well, this doesn't have a part to play in mine anyway. You're right. Yeah, good point.
Right, next I'm going for the Usos. Jay Uso versus and Jimmy Uso versus the Fallen Group of Ridge Holland and Butch. Without Sheamus because he is currently on his honeymoon. He's honeymooning with his now wife. What do you reckon?
Well, for starters, this is a nothing match to me. I couldn't care less, to be honest. I like both teams, but yeah, this doesn't mean anything to me. In fact, I'll go out on a limb and say Ridge Holland is one of the most boring wrestlers of all time. I've got no inclination to want to watch this match. However, they did put on a barnstormer last time against Imperium. I think that came down to more Sheamus and Gunther.
Yeah.
And even Ludwig, he was pretty impressive. The Usos, the best part about their storyline at the moment is obviously Sami Zayn, who's not there. Maybe the fact that Sami's not there, he's not there to play a part in some kind of distraction. And Usos being double champs, they kind of need to be booked strongly, you'd imagine. I'm going to go with the Usos to beat the Brawling Brutes. I believe this is this a title match or?
Yeah, it's for the title.
Okay. Yeah, Usos are winning this all day long. I don't see the Brawling Brutes taking the titles off the Usos.
I don't. No, I don't.
Via pinfall.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give my pick away, I guess. I'm going for the Usos. I don't think it's their time to lose it. They're so close to the New Day record, I believe, of holding the SmackDown championships.
Yeah.
And I heard something yesterday when I was on the way home from work, and this whole honorary Us and them becoming with the threat to Jey Uso that Roman's going to name him Sammy Uso. That would then, with the Uso surname, that would then allow for him to defend the title.
You know what I'd like to see? Here's what I'd like to see. It gets down to, I don't know how they would do it, like the last day before that record's about to break, right?
Yeah.
And somehow, let's say it's on Raw or something. I know it'd have to be SmackDown. Jay, he goes over the line and he gets in Sammy's face. He might even potentially beat Sammy up, or cost Sammy a match or whatever. And Roman is pissed, Roman is pissed off. So he wants to punish Jay. So he puts Jay and Jimmy in a match against Sammy and Solo for the titles. And right. Sammy and Solo take the titles off Jay and Jimmy.
I can't see Solo Sikoa going with that.
I don't think he's going to play a part in it at all, really. But I think that they win the titles from their own faction, but the faction stays strong with the titles. And can you imagine that dynamic with now Sammy holding the title over Jay or something? Or maybe it's just one set of the titles.
Similar thing as you, there'll be a punishment, but the punishment will be you're not in the match tonight, and Sami Zayn is taking your
That will
place.
be classic. I like it. I like
And
it
then
because of the name. Yeah.
Jey and Sami go and lose, and then that builds this bigger thing with Jey Uso.
Yeah.
That's what they're going towards.
Hey, even on a more
Not
simple level,
Sami.
even on a more simple level, Roman might just take the titles, half of the titles off of Jay and Jimmy. Like I'm taking those Raw ones off you, and just, or he might make Jay lie down in the ring, like one of those symbolic things, and make Sammy pin him. And Sammy and Solo are the other champs. You get what I mean? So they've split the champs up. So everyone in the bloodline has a belt. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I can see something like that happening. So
anyway, yeah.
Win by pinfall.
Yep.
Okay, and then moving on to our last match.
The main event.
One, as they might call it. We've got Alexa Bliss and Asuka, fresh off their win on Monday night. Their surprise win, might I say, is now champions versus Damage Control, made up of Dakota Kai and IU Sky. What are you saying?
Again, this is quite a hard one. I find this difficult to call because, number one, Damage Control shouldn't have lost the titles, in my opinion. I don't even know why that was. Alexa Bliss is a nothing, in my opinion, at the moment. Like, she's an astounding wrestler and character normally, but being just this vanilla, character, paired with Asuka, who's always quite, dynamic and interesting, but it just seemed like a random team to be thrown together. And then, they take the titles, which I guess is some kind of, stay with us in the company, don't jump ship. We'll give you some kind of belt. Almost similar to what they did with Naomi and Sasha Banks in a weird way. I think, yeah. I mean, how many times has Asuka held the tag teams titles? Like, I think she's held them with like 3 different people.
Yeah, she has.
Charlotte Flair. Who else? There was someone else.
The other Japanese wrestler.
Oh yeah, of course.
I can't remember her name.
And then Bliss has held them with Nikki Cross.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, it's just, and all of these teams are just nothing, in my opinion. I think the tag team women's division is lame.
It's terrible.
They need to bring back the Iconics, but they could be coming back. You never know.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to more important business. I don't know. Just because I don't like flip-flopping, and this is probably going to be the downfall of me, I'm thinking that Bliss and Asuka retain via pinfall. But I don't think that should happen, but I think it will happen. There we go. What you disagree?
They've done a good job solidifying the importance of the title by having 4 or 5 different champions in the last 3 months. I don't know. I guess this will be on like the pre-show. I can't see this being on the main card, and for that reason, it being on the pre-show, I think it will be. Well, you have a change of champions on the pre-show, get people to buy more for the main show.
You never know.
I don't know. I'm going to hedge my bets. I'm going to say Alexa Bliss and Asuka.
Yeah.
By pinfall.
It had to be, didn't it?
I made a big call in the double count out Bobby versus Brock.
I think you made a big call in the submission victory of Roman over Logan. I think that's huge.
I can't see it being a straight pinfall. I can't see it being a straight pinfall at all.
But that said,
so to recount, we've got Roman Reigns both to win. You're going by pinfall. I'm going by submission. We've got the OC both to win by pinfall. We've got you've got Brock Lesnar to win. I've got a no finish, double count out, no winner. We've both got McIntyre to win by pinfall. We've both got Strowman to win by pinfall. We're both going Bailey, last woman standing. Bianca Belair doesn't make the 10 count. Both going Usos by pinfall. Both going Alexa Bliss and Asuka.
Yep. No, I mean it's going to be interesting. I guess whenever one of us chooses the different way a match is won, but the same winner, that determines that there will be an overall winner. So that is cool.
It does. Yeah, yeah. So we've got something there.
We do.
In the 3 years we've done it, I don't think we've ever had one where we've gone entirely the same.
Well, that will be ridiculous.
There's always
wouldn't
been
it?
a little bit of difference, and that's always been to my detriment.
Yes. One more thing I will say: Bray Wyatt has been announced for Crown Jewel in some capacity. And it won't be a match, but and this isn't a picks or anything, but I was just wondering what you think what you think might go down.
I think it's going to be more stuff to do with this Uncle
Howdy.
Uncle Howdy, who I believe to be him, to be his like alter ego when he's not in front of the fans. I think he could end up having a small fight, actually. I think the fact that it's Saudi big money, I think that it might be somebody like one of the Firehouse Funflyers, yeah. And I know he gives them a sister Abigail because they're trying to bring him back, aren't they? This is what I get from the storyline. They're trying to bring him back, and now he's the real pure Bray Wyatt. This is him. This is who he's always wanted to be.
It's a captivating storyline.
It is. I find I could get bored of it quite quickly though. I'm here and I'm trying my best, and I want them to now move that storyline on.
Well, yeah, and I mean they've got to really tread thin with how if it is Howdy Doody or whatever his name is Bray. Remember how it went down when he was Sister Abigail and how much of a flop that was. Like, so they've got to like play it really cool, man. I was really hoping for some just mega faction of like his former gimmicks played by other characters.
That's what I thought they were going to be doing.
I mean, I heard rumors Alexa Bliss would be involved, which would be a good throwback. Eric Redbeard or Eric Rowan would be involved, which would be another great throwback. Bo Dallas. Dallas. Karrion Kross he'd probably be better suited now that he's not really looking like a main player. Yeah, I just think like I'm hopeful and optimistic, but I'm always willing for WWE to let me down, and Bray Wyatt, I'm sure in his contract he's got a lot of say over what he's doing now, because I'm sure he wouldn't have come back easily unless there was a lot of money and a lot of creative control. I just don't know. I'd like to see Bray probably just come out and make a reveal of some of his faction at this pay-per-view somehow. That would be good. That'd be cool. Like if they'd even interrupt like a boring match like that Brawling Brutes Usos match maybe, and just have someone interrupt it or something. I don't know. Or maybe the Lesnar. Actually, a Lesnar some kind of storyline with Bray Wyatt could be interesting.
You think?
It could be. It hasn't been around before.
I don't think he's got enough matches on his contract for this year.
Okay.
I read somewhere that this is his last booked match for the year.
Oh, if they go back to Saudi, I'm sure he'll find a way. But this has been interesting. Well, thanks, Luke, and good luck. I don't think you're going to win. I think this was a short-lived title reign. I think I'm going to be a two-time champ. It'd be weird to be only a two-time champ, considering I've held the belt that long. But I think that's the way it's going to go. By the way, I'm off to New Japan this coming Friday. So there will be a vlog. Pretty awesome card. There's the Bullet Club featured. Kenta, he's part of the Bullet Club, but he's having a match. Aaron Solo, who's featured on AEW. And what's the other big fella? Jeff Cobb is featured as well.
Oh, yeah.
So a few big names from the independent world and New Japan and AEW. So I'm pretty excited, plus a few New Zealand talent featured and scattered on the card also. It's very cheap as well. It was, I well, I got cheap seats to be fair, but I got like a ticket for $30, and I'm still umming and ahhing, and I probably will. There's a meet and greet for $25.
Oh yeah, do that.
Yeah, I haven't got that ticket yet because I just didn't get onto it, but I think I will do that. And then yeah, we're looking to have a podcast sometime next week, probably a recap of Crown Jewel, and get back to the old ways of rambling about stuff that we don't really know too much about.
Good man.
So I'm looking forward to it, Luke. And yeah, I hope you lose.
Number one.
Smell you later, bro.
See you soon.